All I can say is I'm just a stoner. These are my predictions. I could be completely wrong. I could get all these predictions wrong, but it's all for the fun of it. I love the fucking sport.
Off in the deep on the verse, it's a creature, it must be the work of a menace. At night it releases a scream, bloody murder, forever thy dwells in the pestilence. Approaches repulsive, achievement is slowly provoked.
UFC 280, the most exciting card of the year, in my opinion. I'm super excited for this one. We got a few of my favorite fighters on this one, actually, and I'm gonna be breaking down some of my predictions and break down why I think it exactly. For all my longtime viewers who are watching this, it might be different from the usual content, and I know a lot of you like UFC, so figured I would do this, see how it goes. If you guys enjoy this type of content, let me know, and if not, then let me know as well. I always like your guys' feedback, honest opinions. Before I get into all my predictions and breakdowns, I just want to say, I'm just a stoner who loves the sport. I'm not an expert, but I feel like a lot of times I don't want to brag, but I can sometimes make good predictions. There's a few times where I'm like, oh, I think this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and I'm thinking in my head while I'm watching, and it happens. So, and a lot of times I turn out right, and then sometimes I'm wrong, but it's just all the fun of it. I'm just a stoner, and that being said, I know there's a lot of people who are going to disagree with me, and then there's some people who are going to agree, and yeah, I just love the fucking sport. I'd have to say growing up, UFC has always been my favorite sport. Although not until the past couple years, I went from like a casual viewer, just like, oh, I knew a lot of the fighters, watched it here and there, to now I'm like really dialed in, watching fight nights every single night, and also getting to know a lot of fighters that most casual viewers won't know. And I don't know if I'm considered a casual viewer or not, but I do know a little bit. I grew up wrestling. I think that has a lot to do with why I love the sport. I kind of like have an idea of, I know it's completely different. Wrestling is not being in a fight with someone, but I understand like how hard it can be. And I just have a lot of respect for all the UFC fighters. So much respect goes out to all of them. Like you out there fighting in your underwear in front of millions of people, thousands in the stadium, but millions of people are watching you, critiquing you, you know, and like me. So I got nothing but the utmost respect to anyone doing in the UFC or fighting in general in MMA. It's just the crazy sport. It's the most entertaining one. And let's get into the predictions. And one last thing I have to say before you go and laugh at my predictions if I'm wrong in the future. Yo, we all know anything can happen in the cage, okay? There's no way to like perfectly predict. Like we all got shocked with the Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards situation. Like who knew he was gonna come with a head kick knockout when 1 minute left on the clock of the 5 round. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody could have. There's maybe somebody, but you get what I'm saying. So on to the predictions. Just don't hate on me. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The fights that I'm going to be predicting are the top 3. Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw, and Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. Those are the ones I'm going to be going over. And starting off, let's go with Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan. I'm excited about all these, but Sean O'Malley is one of the dudes who really got me more into the UFC, and all the longtime UFC watchers are gonna get cringe and be like, oh, you just like him because he smokes weed. It's like, I don't like him just because he smokes weed. When I found out, I found out he smoked weed later on. I liked him because of how entertaining he was. When I saw that fight versus him and Chris Mutino, I feel like that fight was the turning point where I went from just casual kind of watching to, oh, yo, I really like, I'm gonna start paying attention more to the UFC. They got guys like this. You can say what you want about him, but the dude is an entertaining fighter. You can hate him, but you're still gonna watch him. And there's a lot of fighters that have that in them, and he's one of them. He's the fucking man. But this fight that he has coming up against him, Peter Yan, however you say his name, it's a tough one, and most of my UFC watchers, we all know this. This is gonna be a really tough one for him. Sean O'Malley is a striker. He has kickboxing history, and we all know he's just known for having the hands. Sean O'Malley is currently ranked number 12 in the bantamweight division, and this fight against Petr is the number 1 contender of the bantamweight division. So you can see the jump from number 12 to 1 is pretty insane. Like, this is a really tough fight. The thing with Sean O'Malley is he's always the hammer. He's known for being on the hunt. He's the hunter. He's taken everyone's heads off in all the fights. You don't see it too often in his previous fights where someone's really coming at him or laying a bunch of hits on him. So against someone like Petr Yan, who we know is just like, he has a very tight, boxy stance. You know he's gonna come up in there. The question is, can Sean O'Malley take a hit? Is he gonna be able to last when Petr comes in there and lands some hits on him? Because I think it's gonna be inevitable. It's gonna happen. So I could see Yan just trying to like get in on him and Sean doing a lot of backing up and just, you know, dancing around the cage. Not in a bad way, but just trying to find his angles. Sean is really good at fighting backwards. He's really good at like being a sniper, just getting out the way and just, you know, popping in a hit while he's backing away. Him being 5'11", I think him and Corey Sandhagen are the tallest and have the most length. I think Sean might be a little high, I don't know. They have the most reach in the division, so he's expected to keep it range. You know, that's what these guys do. They're really good at just, you know, keeping themselves out in the distance and, you know, landing hits from afar. So it's highly expected for Sean O'Malley to try and keep things on the outside of the pockets, keep things at a distance, and pick them apart from the outside. And I know a lot of people are saying this fight with Sean versus Petr is just RIP Sean O'Malley, like they're feeding him to the #1 contender, his whole career is over. I really don't think that. And there's a couple reasons why. I haven't said who I think is gonna win yet, but hear me out. First of all, even if he does lose, all the people saying, oh, RIP his career, it's to the #1 contender. You're not gonna get that much shit for losing to someone like Petr Yan. This dude's a savage. Everyone knows that if you watch the UFC and you're into it, if you're watching this at this point. Second of all, Petr Yan is more of a 5-round fighter. I'm not saying he's dumb and he can't, you know, tune in and make some adjustments for the 3-round fight, but we all know that he takes a little while. He takes his reads and then he starts, how do I put it? Petr Yan will download information throughout the fight. He won't usually be too aggressive, and as the fight progresses in the later rounds, he'll get more aggressive and he'll understand how you're gonna react to certain things because he's got his reads on you, and then he'll start going. And that's what I've noticed he does, and a lot of people I think would agree. So given that Yan is just waiting to see how you react to certain things so he can maybe come with the counter and hit you, he doesn't have as much time given this is a 3-round fight. There's not 5 rounds, so there's a few ways I could see this playing out as far as how Yan is gonna go. I don't know how this is just gonna go out in general. Yan being a striker, having a lot of Muay Thai and kickboxing, you know, I don't see this fight going to the ground. There could maybe be a few moments where they get into a clinch. I know that Yan might do that, but for the most part, I see this being more of a boxing match. I can see Sean O'Malley mixing it up, throwing a lot of kicks out there. As I was saying that Yan will pick up the pace as things go on in the later rounds once he feels like he gets a read on you. Since this is a 3-round fight, Sean O'Malley does have a true advantage here. But as I said earlier, Yan isn't dumb. He knows he's gonna have to make this adjustment. Like, there's so many things, there's so many ways it can go. I could see him just ditching that plan and almost just pressuring Sean O'Malley straight for the kill, because we know that Sean has never really been the nail. We've never really seen anyone just come at him as much as, I guess, the Cheeto Verify, but that one is a whole nother story if you've seen that one. But I will say one thing, Yan's gonna have to be careful if he's gonna try and charge O'Malley like that, because Sean is very good at moving backwards and he's a sniper. If he sees an angle or he sees an opening, he will hit you and he will crack you. We know Yan can take hits, but it's a super interesting fight. I'm really excited for it. Now, who do I think will win? I want Sean O'Malley to win, but if I were to have to bet with just straight, like, what I truly think is gonna happen, I would have to say Yan. I'm gonna have to pick Yan for this one. I think they're kind of disrespecting O'Malley with the odds. I don't think it's like a 1-3. Yes, he's number 12 contender, yes, but I would have to say Yan. I imagine Yan's plan is just to either straight rush him and just to see if O'Malley can get hit, but that's risky, so we might just see him take his reads on him and then slowly just progress and take his head off. We're gonna see. I could really see it go into a decision or a split decision. I have a hard time seeing Sean getting knocked out, maybe just because I haven't seen it and he hasn't really been hit. But the highest chance I think of happening is a decision or a split decision win by Yan, and then the other way of Yan winning could possibly be a TKO. I could see him maybe catching Sean, he drops and then just landing a bunch while he's down. And I really want Sean to win though. I want Sean to prove that he can be that guy. I really want him to win. And yes, we're a smoking channel and Sean smokes weed. Everyone's like, oh, you just like him because he smokes weed. No, he's an entertaining fucking fighter and he puts on a show. It's cool that he smokes weed. That's just like, I'm not watching the UFC because that dude smokes weed. I'm watching because these dudes put on a show and they know how to fucking fight and it's just entertaining. Next up on the card, we got Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. Really excited for this fight as well. I wouldn't consider either of them one of my favorite fighters, but I'm still super fucking excited for this one. You got Aljamain Sterling, who we know is just a great wrestler. He has a wrestling background and he is insane at jiu-jitsu. He's just a fucking jiu-jitsu master. And we also know that Aljamain Sterling is a bit awkward on the feet. He's not really known for his striking, but he's awkward. He can create these weird angles and scenarios to where he's maybe hitting you or landing a takedown. Just awkward on the feet. That's how I would kind of describe it. And the thing with Aljo right now is he has a lot of momentum right now. I love the way he handled all the hate when he was fighting Jan. Just, you know it's fucked up when the Americans are rooting for the Russian against the own American. Like, he was getting booed hard. People didn't see him as the real champion. They just thought that he was faking it when he got kneed into the face. And I'll say this, how are you supposed to react? Like, no one has really been kneed in the head like that, you know, or at least the people who are probably criticizing. Like, have you been kneed in the face like that? How do you know how you're supposed to react when something like that happens? Everyone's like, oh, that's some good acting. I don't know. I don't think the dude was acting. I think he was real, like, he got fucking kneed and he was like, what the fuck? If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was an illegal knee that caused a disqualification for Aljo to become the champion, and you could tell he was upset. It wasn't the way he wanted to win. That's besides the point. What I'm getting at is I just love the way that he handled all the hate coming into the next, like the second fight with Jan, because it obviously called for a rematch, and he dominated that fight. I actually went and watched that fight again. Like, he dominated that fight. His jiu-jitsu, just being able to come around, get the back of Jan, hold him there, like, and just beat on him. Maybe he didn't finish him, but he clearly was dominating that fight. He was in control. Given that TJ isn't one of my favorite fighters, I haven't looked into him a whole bunch, but I've done my research and I've watched enough fights to I think I kind of have an idea. So I believe TJ comes from a wrestling background, but when you watch his fights, it seems he's adapted to be more of a striker. Like, he has really good wrestling defense and he can land takedowns, but for the most part, he's just got he's all hands, you know? And I would say his record proves this. When you go look at his record, most of his wins are from KO compared to submission. If you would think like wrestlers have more submission, he has great hands. He's a lethal striker, so that's what Aljamain is up against. But like all around in MMA, wrestling is such an advantage. I don't know, I just feel that, and Aljamain having that on his belt, being a much better wrestler in my opinion, having that jiu-jitsu and that wrestling background, I think he's more of a well-rounded fighter, and I'm gonna have to give it to Aljamain Sterling on this one, but I'm still gonna go into break down why I think that. And when I say Aljamain Sterling, I don't mean it's just gonna be easy. He has a tough fight against him. Like, TJ is a fucking monster. He has insane cardio. He keeps his pace going. Like, if you watch the fight between him and Corey Sandhagen, I know that was a really controversial fight on whoever won, but just look at the pace. He had his fucking face cut open. He had blood going into his eye. He couldn't see. I know that doesn't really correlate with cardio, but still, like, you gotta give him respect for that. I know he got caught for steroids and shit like that. It makes me not like him as much. It's like, oh, come on, man. I know a lot of dudes in the UFC do it, but come on, man. But yeah, TJ's really good at striking. He's really good at keeping his pace, like I said, and keeping motherfuckers on the back of their feet. So here's how I see this fight going. I see TJ Dillashaw, as soon as they say, all right, go, he's running at him. He's already immediate pace, just fucking, you know how TJ is. He's going at you. I think Aljamain Sterling is to try and use that against him, his pace, to create an opening to take him down. I think Aljamain Sterling is gonna try and take TJ to the ground, and you just know he's great at getting behind the back and landing the rear naked choke. TJ's obviously gonna expect that, but there's sometimes, some people are so good at something, like even though you expect it, like Khabib, everyone knew he was gonna take him down and fucking beat the shit out of you, but no one could stop him. I'm not saying that Khabib is on the same level as Aljamain, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes people can know your game plan and they can't do shit about it. So I can see Aljamain Sterling just getting behind his back, getting maybe some nasty ground and pounds, and maybe just even controlling him throughout the whole round. If he can't get the finish, getting the decision just by controlling him, you know? If not, maybe a choke, a ground and pound. But on the other hand, I'm going to tell you what I think could maybe happen on the... I think Aljamain's going to win, but there's still other possibilities. Like if TJ wins, here's what I think could possibly happen. I like to think of all the different possibilities, but also like tell you what I think will most likely happen. Like most likely Aljamain will win, but I think TJ will try and keep things on the feet, try and outland him on strikes, you know, get points like that, or even just look for the finish. We all know that he's fucking crazy, and he's going to expect Aljamain to go for the takedowns and try and take him down, so he might just like throw up a crazy knee when Aljamain goes down and fucking get the KO. I could definitely see that happening, but this is the thing I love about the sport. We don't fucking know. We can just like make our predictions, and then like, I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna be happy either way it fucking comes out. This is one of those fights where I'm not like too attached to either one of the fighters, and whoever wins, whoever fucking wins, you know. The next card the next fight that I'm gonna go against, I want a certain fighter to win. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Aljamain Sterling on this one. I think Sterling can get this one done. And although I said I'm not too attached to either one of the fighters, if I had to like, aside from picking out who's gonna win based on who I actually think based on their fighting, if that makes sense, I want Aljamain to win a little more just because he's not a steroid dude, like, you know. Now moving on to the next fight of the card, the most exciting fight of the year in my opinion. Can't tell you guys how excited I am. I love Islam Makhachev. I want this man to win. I'm just saying right now, I want him to win. And one of the reasons I love this man is because I love Khabib. Khabib is my favorite fighter in the UFC. I love Khabib for so many different reasons, just how humble he is, his personality, he's funny, his dominant style of just smashing. I love like the Conor McGregor fight, how he just dealt with that. And like all my Khabib fans are like, yo, that was a great time. That was a great time in UFC history. But we're not talking about Khabib. We know that Islam is being trained by Khabib, and they are lifelong friends. Khabib has been training with Islam pretty much their whole life. So, I mean, I gotta like the guy. So what type of fighter is Islam Makhachev? You know, he's a grappler, has insane ground game. We know that he's a Sambo champion, and so he's damn well good at that. And he is on a 10-win streak. That's very impressive. People can talk all they want of, oh, it's not top contenders. You got to build your way up some way, all right? He's on a 10-win streak. That's pretty good. Islam, in a sense, already believes that he's the champion. He believes that he's the best lightweight. This is just his time to prove it. I think he is, and I think he is going to prove it. We'll have to see, but that is his mindset. He just believes that he is already that man. Islam also has insane striking defense. I believe he's one of the least hit lightweights in the division. Don't quote me on that, but I know he is very hard to hit. He has very good defense on the feet. Not only that, he has very high takedown defense and very good takedown offense. He's very accurate with his takedowns. I've noticed when Islam fights, he's the type to really set things up as far as takedowns. He'll take his time, he'll pressure you and just wait for that perfect moment to just boom, catch you, maybe with a feint jab, or maybe he makes you back up a certain way and he'll just catch you, and he's really good at getting takedowns that way. He's just really good at keeping pressure and creating openings for takedowns. But the thing about Islam is, yes, he's a very good grappler. That's what he's known for. He also has hands. I just don't think people have seen it enough yet. And I think we might see some crazy shit because we know that Charles Oliveira is most likely going to make this a dogfight. He's just very reckless. But I think he's going to go in there and bring the storm to Islam. So I think we might see some striking from Islam, which I think is going to be cool. And who knows, I could see Islam even catching Charles Oliveira with a hit, because we do know that Charles Oliveira does have those openings and he has been hit. He does get knocked down. It's happened the last 3 fights, so there's always that chance as well. We've seen it happen with him. And given this fight is in Abu Dhabi, you can imagine there is a lot of pressure on Islam. Like there's just a lot, I can only imagine. There's so much pressure for him to just prove himself, and you know, it's in Abu Dhabi. There's just very high expectations. It's been a long time planned with Khabib's father. You know that with Khabib, there's very high expectations, so you can just imagine the pressure. Like, this is his time to take the belt back to Dagestan. And I think he can do it. And then on the other hand, another fighter I have great respect for. Yes, I want Islam to win, but Charles Oliveira has my respect. He's entertaining as fuck. He's humble, and how could you not like the guy? He's known for having his insane ground game, like great jiu-jitsu. He has the most submissions in the UFC, so that should say something. And he is on a 11 win streak. In the past few fights he's had defending his title, yes, you can debate the weight where it's not really, like everyone knows he's really the lightweight champion. The way he dealt with Chandler, the way he dealt with Dustin and Justin Gaethje, finished all of them. You gotta give him some respect, all right? Like the dude is fucking good and he's put them all away. But I will say this, in those last 3 fights, his last 3 title defenses, this man has been dropped every single time. There are openings, there are chances, and it is shown. Chandler dropped him, Dustin dropped him, and Justin dropped him. All of them did, and now it's not how you start the fight, it's how you finish. Yes, Charles came out in the end, but I'm just pointing out that there are moments and there are flaws, and if you want to be an undisputed champion, you can't have like someone's gonna get you, you know what I'm saying? Like someone is gonna take advantage. Maybe not, but that's what I think. And another thing to point out in all of those fights, Dustin Poirier, when Dustin dropped him, he went to the ground with him for a little bit and then let him back up. You know why? Because he knows that Charles Oliveira's ground game is not to be played with. He is nasty on his back, in his guard. He can submit people. So a lot of these guys, they just want to stay on the feet. They don't really want to go on the ground with him. So Charles has this like, all right, they knock me down, that's fine, I'm gonna stay down. They don't wanna come down with me. What happens when you try and do that to Islam Makhachev? He's not just gonna stand, he's not gonna just like let you back up on the feet and try and keep it. He's gonna wanna take it to the ground. He's gonna put that pressure on you and try and tire Charles Oliveira out. You get what I'm saying? So you have these other dudes that he's beaten, yes, in all respect, but these are dudes who were afraid of Charles's guard. And this is what makes this fight so interesting, because you have one dude who's a wrestler, who has Sambo champion, he's being trained by Khabib, so you know he's like, this is Khabib's prodigy. This is all a part of Khabib's, his father's plan. Like this is, Khabib has the belt, he retires, now Islam comes, takes the belt and brings it back to Dagestan. This is, and I believe in their plan. I think they're gonna do it, I really do. So I'm not saying that Islam is gonna hit him and take him down, I don't know. But all I'm saying is there's openings, and if that does happen, we know that Islam is gonna go on the ground with him. And we all know that Islam does, like he has said this, I don't know if it was Khabib or Islam, or maybe it was his manager, which you can't really, like that dude Ollie just like sometimes says some crazy shit. But I think he wants to beat him at his own game. He wants to like prove, like he's gonna try and beat him in any way, obviously, any way to get the W, but if he can like beat him at his own ground game, like that would just like, people would be like, what the fuck, you submitted Charles Oliveira? Like the dude who submitted the most people in the UFC, like it would be crazy, all right? It would be fucking crazy. And yes, I know that Charles Oliveira has fought a larger, higher caliber fighters, if you want to put it that way. He's fought, you know, way more higher ranked people. But you also need to remember that Islam has been training with Khabib almost his whole life. Like yes, Charles has gone out there and finished all these dudes, but Khabib has finished all those dudes as well, besides Chandler, which we all know, like, Khabib would beat Chandler. Like, I don't even need to get into that. Khabib would beat Chandler, all right? Khabib has finished all those dudes, and he is training with Islam. So yes, Charles has defeated a lot of better fighters. He has a better resume, per se, but also Islam has been fighting and training with Khabib, like, every day, his whole life. So you need to put that into consideration as well. All right, so I'm not saying, yes, I think Islam is gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be like some domination, like I think it's gonna be a really good fight. I could see it going out in decision, I could see it being a split decision, or the other way I could see it is just Islam getting maybe the TKO from ground and pound, you know? I think Islam's plan is to get him on the ground and just tire him out and make him quit. I think he's really good at just like putting weight on people, making them feel like there's a million pounds on them and they can't do anything, they can't breathe, and they just get overwhelmed. But Islam doesn't have an easy way to the win, you know? Like, Charles is fucking crazy. He is just unpredictable, throwing knees to the body, kicks to the body, like he's just constantly coming at you. He is very well-rounded. He makes it a dogfight. I think Charles Oliveira is gonna try and make it down and dirty and try and see how Islam is gonna react to that insane pressure from the Terminator. So on Charles Oliveira, talking about the previous fights with Chandler and all them, I will say this. In the fight against Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, there was a point where Chandler got him in a pretty tight guillotine, you know, and he was able to get out. Yes, Islam has also been put in guillotines before, but I will say this. When Michael Chandler was wrestling or he was on the ground with Oliveira, Chandler was doing a really good job of defending himself. That's something to also consider, you know. Michael Chandler was doing a really good job of defending it. How well is Islam going to do against that? And before everyone assumes that I'm sleeping on Charles, look, I picked Charles as the underdog when he was fighting Dustin, and I knew he was going to win when he was fighting Justin, just because these two guys like to keep things on the feet. Yeah, Dustin Poirier is a black belt, but how often do you see him trying to go for submissions? He has power in his hands and he likes to knock people out. Me knowing that wrestling, just like, there's just something about that advantage, and I picked Charles to win, and it happened. I picked him to win the second time it happened. So it's not like I've been doubting him this whole time. I've been sleeping on him. No, I've picked him to win. But this time I think he has a different fight in his hands. He doesn't have people who are afraid to go into his guard. He has, like, this is my number one thing, he has holes. He gets knocked down. He's been knocked down in his past fights every single time. And he just lays there, you know? I'm not saying it's bad, but he lays there because he knows they don't want it. So it's a different story now against Islam. I think Charles' plan is to go in there and be reckless. Like, he's reckless, not in the bad way, he's precise. Like, he can go in there and just make it a dogfight and fucking fuck you up pretty much. So I think he's gonna apply that pressure on Islam and just try to overwhelm him, just bring a fucking storm, and Islam's gonna have to try and, I guess, weather it. I don't know. And for Islam's goal, I think he just wants to tire him out, make him quit. I could see him going for the finish for a TKO ground and pound. It would be absolutely insane to see a submission. Like, that would fucking, like, insane. But really coming down to it, I see this coming down to decision. I don't see someone getting finished. If someone gets finished, that's fucking crazy. If it comes down to decision, dope. I'm sure it's gonna be a great fight. I'm super excited. Either one who wins, like, if Islam loses, I'll be like, damn it. But if Charles wins, it's like, all much respect to him. He's the fucking man. Like, he's proven it, you know? And I know a lot of people say that Charles is gonna beat Islam and then it's gonna make Khabib come back and has this whole thing. Like, I don't think so, but all I can say is I'm just a stoner. These are my predictions. I could be completely wrong. I could get all these predictions wrong, but it's all for the fun of it. I love the fucking sport and I love a lot of these fighters on this card, so I thought I would make this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe go check out some of the other videos. Maybe do some of this UFC stuff in the future. We'll see, but thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Peace out.
Life is a bitch bag, you gotta get your cheese. You better recognize survival of the fittest ain't so easy when we're breaking